Okay. It just started recording. Okay, caffeine queen. Let me put my shit on do not disturb.
Caffeine Queen.
I don't know if we should do introductions or we should really just get into it.
I think we should get into it. If we want
We can
to add
post
stuff
edit
in
stuff in
post,
post.
we could there's always like some random guy that does it.
No, literally. Yeah,
Let
guys, like
Kyle do
just
it. Let Kyle do
yeah. Kyle, you know
it.
what, Kyle? Cut this.
Kyle, cut this later, please.
I also want to do my own podcast on, or actually I might do it with Jackie, my running list of Wasians. Did you see this on my close friends?
Yeah.
I literally was
Yeah.
like like in a daze last night going th I told you like in my notes app I was literally cooking.
The thing for me is like I know it's about to get dangerous for a celebrity
Hmm.
when you start seeing Snoopy's in the crowd. Like
Stop.
if you see people holding up a Snoopy in front of
Oh,
a
it's
celebrity,
you're
that's when it's
cooked.
like
You're
you're to
done
that level, you're never gonna have privacy again. Like
ever again.
I would be
Literally,
so scared if I was a celebrity.
yo, number one enemy, Dumois just released photos of Connor from August.
Okay.
Like,
So
who dug that out? And also, who was taking like, they're literally like paparazzi photos of him in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. What
Rhode
are we
Island.
doing? What are we
We
doing?
we don't need to see everything they're doing actually.
Hey,
We don't need to see that. The people do not want that.
cut the crap. Cut the crap. I literally just cut the crap.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me. Do you want to start with one of your prompts, or do you want me to kind of get the ball rolling?
I think you should get the ball rolling. I think we should,
Okay.
yeah. If you're
So have you seen, obviously seen the letterboxed situation.
the letterbox situation, I
The
have.
letterbox situation. So for a quick rundown, if anybody who's watching this who is not familiar, because I know sometimes some of my friends like watching my little podcasts, Hudson Williams basically is the star um of Heated Rivalry, the new show that just came out on HBO or Crave for my Canadian friends. And he was a film student in Vancouver, and his letterbox was leaked. Now, for some people, letterbox is whatever, anybody can follow me, but sometimes, that's like a very like a precious like journal type situation. And, it also got into the whole situation of, can we have like private accounts on Letterbox, blah 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 blah. That is literally like if somebody went into my dance journal and started like extrapolating all of the notes and critiques that I have given like other dancers. That's a violation for me personally
a
because I have said
violation.
some heinous things about my fellow choreographers and their work, unfortunately. And it's not in like a I hate your work, and it's more of in like a you can do so much better. Why are you choreographing like that?
Yeah.
It's not like in a
It's a
like
critique.
yeah,
It's a critique.
exactly. And as somebody, who like I literally had to learn how to take a critique. Like I've been in the arts my entire life. You have to learn how to take a critique. It's one thing if somebody's just being straight up mean. That's one thing.
Yeah.
It's another thing if somebody's actively like giving you constructive feedback that you can build off of. Also, 2 months ago, hey, he was a nobody.
Hey,
Hey, it's
hey.
giving Bitsky nobody, nobody. Like
Nobody.
that's what that's giving right now.
Yeah. No,
So,
it just like the thing too is people who are not used to maybe being in the arts, being
mhm,
in a situation where you are critiqued
mhm.
constantly on your um, opinions on art.
Hmm.
Because not everyone is actively talking about art, discussing art, giving their
Yeah.
opinion on art. And
Hmm.
so when people are coming into this and seeing in it and taking offense because he's critiquing something that they really like,
Yeah.
they can't look at it constructively without being
No.
like
Because it on
insane
the
about it.
internet, there's this like panopticon of like, well, if you say this, then you believe that, and you believe this, and you believe that. And it's like, there's so much more nuance to it. And of course, like the internet is the place that nuance comes to die. Hi, Brandy. And it just like, it really frustrates me that people are taking his critique of Lolita, which is like a really incredible piece of like, first of all, literature. And I don't know really how I feel about the movies, but that's like a different topic for a different day. But he's said in his reviews that he kind of gave this perspective that he revered the movies. And in what part of your mind did you sit down, read his little review and go, he's endorsing pedophilia? What's wrong with you people? What is wrong with you
Like,
people?
it just is like people are not thinking, people are not using their
Right,
brains.
right.
And I haven't seen the movies or
Hmm.
books, to be
Hmm.
fair.
Hmm.
So when I read it, I was like, okay, I really don't know the situation. But
Hmm.
also, it did not sound like a man who was like, yay, pedophilia.
Yeah. Like that's
And
not,
I think you can, if you haven't read them, if you haven't seen the movie, you can read something like that and be like, yeah, he's not endorsing that.
yeah.
If you just think a little,
If you just
like,
like,
if
because
you
he's
just use your
also,
brain.
he's kind of not endorsing, but he's talking about the themes and really the prose of the movie and the way that the message is conveyed rather than the content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it's just like, it's very frustrating. So, what I wrote down was basically, um, we have so many famous people who are so unmoved and have no opinions and are so pathetic and complacent. God
So
forbid we
pathetic.
feel. We have had this, like, I don't even want to call it a revolution, but revolution in that it has changed drastically so much. Does nobody have an opinion anymore? Especially people who are like in the spotlight.
No, it's true because we're getting interviews where the answers are just like
Nothing
blinking. Like
burger
it's
ass answers.
there's nothing. And so when we actually get people who are like responding, having opinions, actually being active in storytelling and what they do,
Hmm.
it suddenly like becomes a problem for people when it should very not be. Because
Yeah.
this is the whole purpose.
Yeah.
This is the whole purpose of storytelling and art. It is so that people can talk about it and
Hmm.
people can take things from it.
Yeah. And like what you said, art is meant to tell something. It is obviously meant to, even if you're not going into something trying to say something, you're going to move people. You are going to move people. Like that is the point of art. I remember that I don't know if you were at school for that part where I did the 999
I don't think so.
piece. It was like literally like the last piece I had ever choreographed, and it I was so exhausted from like the amount of choreographing that I was doing that I just like threw stuff at my dancers and they did it. And then after like the whole thing, people were coming up to me like, I loved it. It moved me so much because of this, that, that. And I was like, I was just telling them to move because I was so tired. I had nothing else. I had nothing else to give. But it
Nothing
moved
else to
people so
give.
much because it was to Revolution 9 by the Beatles. And I think that the movement was so like I don't know, even though it meant nothing to me, it meant so much to other people. And
Yeah.
if you are expecting actors who are meant to be the medium of and really the talking pieces of great pieces of art, of course they're going to have something to say about it because it's literally moving through them. They're
Yeah.
living through that. So if you expect people to not have opinions and beliefs and like have some sort of like belief system, then you're like forgetting that, you know, the actors are people.
The actors are people who have thoughts.
Hmm.
Believe it or not.
Hey, believe it or not,
Believe it or not,
crazy.
they think things. They think.
That's insane. That's insane. I never thought.
Insane,
But
actually.
I also just like I think that I also wrote this down in my notes.
Hmm.
Um that the whole industry is really kind of obviously it's oversaturated because the market's not big enough. Um but
Hmm.
it's also completely saturated by like nepo babies. And there's this like, you know, there's a stigma around nepo babies. It's a very like touchy topic with nepo babies,
Hmm.
and I think that a lot of people, the main ones that come to my mind, the main one that comes to my mind is Gracie Abrams.
Oh,
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 oh, Zora
oh,
Mamdani got inducted as mayor, so I blocked Gracie Abrams.
yeah.
Anyways,
Blockhead.
but with this kind of, I feel like because they're born into kind of the stratosphere of entertainment from birth, they're kind of media trained
Yeah,
into not having opinions on anything.
yeah. Because it's just when you're being viewed all the time in
Hmm.
front of people, and you
Hmm.
probably have those instances because you've been in the industry so long where you've said something, you've done something, and it's affected you negatively. Like it does make sense that if you have been in that situation since you're a child, you end up that way.
Yeah.
But in the instance of Connor and Hudson, like what was it like 8 months ago? Working at Old Spaghetti, whatever, or like,
Like just
you know what
being
I
like
mean?
working
Like,
like a restaurant job.
have been able to be creative, do their
Hmm.
projects that they've been doing,
Hmm.
while simultaneously having opinions and
Hmm.
not being in the public eye for so long that, like, now they just naturally have opinions
Right.
that they feel like they can voice. Not that like people who are not voicing opinions don't have opinions. It's just there's a difference between them. That
Yeah.
goes back to what you were saying.
And remember last year with the Oscars where it came out that like a large percent of like Academy voters had not watched like the Academy nominated like movies. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, because it's
Him
yeah.
having logged over 1,000 movies on his letterbox should be a good thing. It
That's what I
should
want
be
to
a good
see.
thing.
That's what I want to see. Like that's what you
Like
should be doing.
as an actor, I don't think that you necessarily have to be, like engulfed in movies all the time, but like
Mhm.
you kind of should be like surrounding yourself with the media that
Yeah,
you are, supposedly trying to produce.
yeah,
Because, if you're working like a regular job, right? Mm, a regular job, quote unquote.
yeah,
You have to be constantly like training. Do you know what I mean? For
hmm,
like finance jobs
yeah,
and like need to be constantly getting your licenses and studying and getting these exams or whatever. Why would that be any different for acting or like it's a
yeah.
muscle that you have to,
Mm.
you
You're gonna
gotta
be
work it out.
seeing and digesting what other people in your field are doing
Hmm.
and looking at it critically
Hmm.
and then having opinions on it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just it also kind of Connor talks about being so happy that he's a SAG-AFTRA member, which like I like goals. Like I want to be a SAG-AFTRA. Like
Healthcare.
I want to be like a hard
Healthcare.
hold. Like
Like,
that's everything to me. That is everything to me. Um, but he also, he talks about being from like West Texas and
yeah.
from I don't know what their economic status was growing up.
Yeah.
And, Hudson talks about his mom kind of being afraid for him that his race is gonna hold him back. And that's
Hmm.
really sad. But, they've also lived real lives and they
Yeah.
have something real to say. And it's not to say that Nepo babies don't have something to say. I think that they
Hmm.
definitely do. But it becomes so far removed from something that the majority of people can digest, especially, with the wealth gap increasing and people
Yeah.
not having these equal opportunities, you know, what they have to say is not going to be relatable to us because they just
Mm.
are completely removed from the stratosphere of the regular person.
Yeah. No, and I think there is something about like where they were raised
Hmm.
and the time we're in right now of
Hmm.
being like times are not great, especially in like smaller, rural, more conservative places
Hmm.
that when you see actors or people in the public that have such a spotlight right now
Hmm.
having success for being in something that is not small and conservative, you're going to be like, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, actually, this is what we want to see. And so I think a large part of their success, just outside of being like great actors,
Hmm.
is like their background and now how they're storytelling. They're
110%.
storytelling and bringing it to the
Hmm.
people. Like this is like clearly people are craving this.
Clearly, people are not only craving incredible acting, because I think that also when you have somebody like a Pedro Pascal, you have somebody like a Jacob Elordi, you have somebody like a Dakota Johnson or a Scarlett Johansson that are just kind of easy reaches. Jennifer Lawrence, even who, we both love Jennifer Lawrence. Like, that's
Love,
our
love, love,
girl.
love.
Love, 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 love. Like, I'm like her in Silver Lining Playbook is the kind of actress that I would
Mm-hmm.
like to be.
Mm-hmm. Winter's Bone.
Oh, need
Winter's
to lock in
Bone.
on that. I low-key need.
E- Watch it.
Okay,
Watch
okay,
it.
okay.
Okay.
But when we have these actors and actresses that we just automatically kind of reach for,
Hmm.
you then, you know, close this, you less diversify the pool of people in which you are grabbing from. And, that's great for those people for like monetarily, but it then seems like they're kind of hoarding all of the parts.
Yeah.
You are then closing the market in which that is already so saturated and closing it
Hmm.
off to people who do want an opportunity. I
Yeah.
think that materialists, for example, if we had gotten three nobodies in that movie, it would have been so incredible. It would have
Yeah.
been a much better movie.
Yeah.
And Hudson actually talked about that in his letterbox review of it, that like Pedro Pascal kind of was a nothing burger in that movie. Like, kind of all three of them were nothing burgers in that
Yeah.
movie. And I think that
No.
Dakota Johnson has a really great like set of skills. I just don't think that her skills translated well to that. And I think that she's kind of, and not in a bad way, she's a one-dimensional actress that does her one thing really, really well. I don't think she can really do anything else.
Yeah. Well, and it just like you can tell now, like, well, and just forever, like when a movie is cast
Mm,
for the celebrity,
yeah.
just for the celebrity, because they know
Hmm.
it's going to bring people in, like you can immediately tell.
Yeah.
Like there's like the chemistry in that movie,
Was jazz.
it wasn't there.
It was
Like it
so
just,
bad.
and so it's just like when you're pulling in these people that you know you're just gonna make money from, like you're not
Yeah.
gonna actually get a reaction
Because
out of
my
people like you did with Heated Rivalry
with
because they
Heated
actually
Rivalry,
found people with chemistry. Imagine that.
chemistry, and
Imagine that.
when they did chemistry reads over Zoom, like hello, like that's crazy. That's crazy that they did
Crazy.
that.
And for it to be like so strong, just like
So like,
through Zoom, that they were like, we got it.
right, right.
We got it.
But I also think that, it's a Celine Song movie. Do you know what I mean? Like it
Hmm.
is, she did Past Lives.
Yeah.
And not to
Past
say
lives.
that the folks in Past Lives were nobodies. They definitely were not nobodies.
Yeah.
They were not superstars in comparison to, I don't know, Captain America and The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like I just like in these A24 films, A24 used to be like the art house, like it kind of, indie
Yeah.
producer. And now they're like, I really do feel like they're trying to kind of lock in the market on blockbusters.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that because it's like, I'm trying to think of any other examples of movies that would be what that would have been better suited for like nobodies. And I
Well,
think,
just, yeah.
yeah,
I
just a
think
lot
there's,
of,
especially in romances recently,
yes,
that's
dude.
what we've fallen into.
Yes,
We've
dude.
fallen into romances with this certain type of actor,
Mm.
which it's like they've been in good stuff, they can do good stuff, but
So
we
let's
need to
give them
mix
a
it.
nothing movie. And I think that it's the way that they treat romances too. Like
Hmm.
like they're this like, okay, well you have to check off this box
Yeah.
in your career. And it's like, yeah, maybe if you want to, but
Yeah.
romances are a very serious thing. And I think I spoke to you about this when I frantically called you one night. I was like, I think I've been so like negative about everything because I haven't like seen like a good romance in a while.
We have not seen. an actual positive example of chemistry
Hmm.
on the screen to where people are like, I want to be in love. Like, that just has not been, at least like coming from me, I
Hmm.
have not had the same feeling of like, maybe I should get out there. You know what I mean? Like,
Literally.
literally, this is like changed something in the energy of the
Hmm.
audience, I feel.
Yeah. 110%.
Yeah.
110%. What did I even I know that there was like something specifically that I had called you about. It was just that it had reinvigorated me because the art that we consume is meant to be catharsis. And we cannot have catharsis of good emotions if we do not have media that is experiencing
Mhm.
good emotion, good, positive, joyous energy.
Yes.
And episode 6 of Heated Rivalry was just this like it was bliss. It was
Bliss.
happiness.
Oh,
Of course there's something to be said about them both being men and being on a level playing field, but it just made you feel so good.
dopamine hit.
Dopamine hit. I've been
There
snorting that shit every night before bed.
has not been a show like this to give, at least that I have been watching,
Hmm.
this level of dopamine to this widespread of audience
Hmm.
in so long.
Hmm.
People are being like in, inspired cr- creatively,
Creatively.
creatively in ways that I have not seen in so long. People enrolling in school again, people changing their careers, people literally like discovering old passions, getting into
Hmm.
new passions, people going out for like heated rivalry events, people meeting
Hmm.
each other, like that video of those girls meeting in Trader Joe's when they're like, did I just hear you talking about heated rivalry? Like, it is just so insaturated in
Yeah.
so many things right now that it's
Hmm.
like very clear to me that this is what people have been needing, the
Yeah.
dopamine hit of that.
It's very enriching. And also there is something to say about the influx of rom-coms that we had in the 2000s and the early 2010s. A lot of those, you look back at that, yeah, they're meant to be feel good or whatever. A lot of them have very like dodgy like gender dynamics. Like
Yeah.
very, very dodgy gender dynamics, and I think that also, and this can be a different conversation for a different day, kind of inspired our mothers to settle for these like idiot dirt bags. Like that's for it inspired women to settle for these like kind of pathetic men that are ugly and don't have jobs. Like, well,
Yeah.
love will prevail. Love doesn't pay the fucking bills. Love
Mm.
doesn't pay the rent. Like,
Yeah.
and there is something to say about, the financial hardship that, our economy is in right now, and seeing these like represented two very wealthy, very successful men being together. And it's like, yeah, no, I do want to be a very successful athlete that has millions and millions of dollars, that can buy a cottage, that can travel, that can do this, that
Yeah.
can do that. There is something very self-fulfilling of watching this because you're like, yeah, I do want to be those guys.
Yeah. No, it's like the whole thing of like the even between the two guys too.
Hmm.
Um, Having that like, hold on, let me gather my thoughts. We might have to rewind a little bit, losing it a little bit. Where were
Equal
we?
playing field
Equal playing field.
and talking about money and
Okay.
success
Money and success. I had a point about it, but it's completely
disappeared.
evaporated. So yeah,
Perfect.
we'll move on.
Yeah. And there's no pressure. I think it's different with Kip and Scott.
Hmm.
I know that in the book, Scott kind of covers Kip's a chunk of Kip's tuition, which is obviously a very heavy burden, which is kind of played up in the show.
Yeah.
And I think that, the Kip and the Scott, I personally, me, was not a huge fan of that episode. I think that it gave very much like Stockholm syndrome. Um, like I spoke to my friend Sam about it and he was like, "Yeah, no, that was like a little crazy and a little bit much because Scott has all of the power.
Yeah.
He has all of the power in that dynamic. He has the money, he has the apartment. Um, but,
Yeah.
at the very least, Kip has like a very good community and support group,
Yeah.
which, like then goes to say, I could be very wrong because they're wealthy in different ways.
Yeah.
But I'm like sweating right now. I think I'm like sweating out my sickness right now. I'm not gonna lie. When you get like meat sweats? I'm literally sitting here like Anyways, circling back, I also am I feel like I had something else to say regarding that whole thing, but it has
Yeah.
escaped my mind and it will
Well,
not come back.
okay, there was a point that um there was something about the dynamic in which the difference between Hudson and Connor
Hmm.
and Kip and Scott,
Hmm.
which I think that like female audiences are a little bit more into the Shane and Ilya
Hmm.
part is because there is no one having to mother
Hmm.
the partner. Does
Nobody's
that
having
make
to take the
sense?
emotional load.
No one's having to take the emotional load. And there's like a little bit of that with Kip and Scott of almost like the one person feeling like they have to protect or mother or like have this different dynamic of like Kip literally stays at home.
No, quite literally just sits at home and like
He's at home in the
reads that
kitchen making smoothies.
first of all, reads that cartoonishly looking like art history book.
Like
Like
it
that is
killed me. It killed
literally
me. The fact that
that
like in the book too, he's a history major. The switch to making him an art history
art history.
major.
For context, she's an art history.
Yeah.
I'm a history major. Well,
Yeah.
we graduated with our degrees,
Yeah.
but you
Without
know,
degrees.
without degrees.
Yeah.
That's so funny that he was a history major. Like, and you
And
know
they
what? It's
made
because
him
it
a
was a,
smoothie maker too. I was
you know
like I was
what?
kind of just happy to be like, yay, art history, but oh,
At what
oh,
cost?
what cost?
At what cost for the representation?
Yeah.
Mind you, I'm not working in my field. I wish I was. I'm not working in my field because
No,
everything
but
in history is like, teacher, I don't want to teach.
no.
Next kind of talking point that I wanted to jump off of was the fact that I feel so parasocial to Hudson, and I think it's
Yeah.
literally because he's way and I'm like this this sounds so dumb. I feel so like because when I was growing up, okay, the Asian representation that I had was Jackie Chan and anime, right? And Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
And to be fair, love Lucy Liu. She went to the same high school as my Aunt Lucy, and there were three
Oh,
Lucys, and they were known as the Three
Ray
Lucys.
Lucy's.
Shouts out. Um, but like I always kind of had this representation. And I also had, Devin Aoki, but I wasn't really into like the Fast and Furious franchises.
Yeah.
Um, and like Hudson Williams is kind of like the opposite of what we've been fed in like this like East Asian of like not being complacent, not being this like model minority. And like I relate to him so much more than I relate to like literally any other Asian like celebrity. Like he is like a freakazoid. He is so
Because
odd and
I
he's such a fucking oddball and I love him so much. But like it's getting to a point. Do you know
it's
what I
getting to a
mean?
point.
And I think this is why representation matters because it's like you can then see yourself, being represented
Yeah.
and being like, okay, well, I can be an actor. I
Hmm.
can pursue this and be successful and be good at what I do.
Yeah. And be a
And
freaking
I
public.
be a freaking public and I
Be a
don't have to
freaking public.
fit into this box of like, well, you're not Asian enough and but you're not white enough because that was also a thing that I kind of grew up struggling with it. I literally went to a school that was half white and half Asian and maybe a couple Hispanic kids and maybe a couple black kids. But like that was the majority of people.
Yeah.
And so when I tried to hang out with the cool, fun Asians, no, because I didn't speak Chinese. When I tried to hang out with the whites, no. Most of them were Greek and Italian and they spoke Greek and Italian. I don't speak
Yeah.
either of those. I don't. So you know what I did?
Yeah.
I hung out with the other Wasian.
Asians.
Shout out.
Shout out to the Asians out there.
Shout out to the Wasians out there. And I want
Yeah.
to read out what exactly I said because I can't quite remember. Hudson being Wasian, how that makes me feel. And also, like, I just finished the book, Yellowface. Have you read that?
No.
It's by R.F. Kuang.
Okay.
And it's about this white woman that basically steals her friend's manuscript after she dies. And her friend is like a very successful, like, Asian writer.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, that's a big yawn.
Uh,
And
Baby.
it's basically like this like record of a white woman kind of like she was went to Yale, very elitist, and like what goes
Mm-hmm.
through the mind of a woman who is stealing her friend's manuscript. Well, I mean, Asians get everything anyway, like people of color get everything anyways because, you know, people are always looking for diversity and she wasn't Chinese enough because she didn't even speak Chinese and you know, I deserve this because, you know, I worked just as hard, and just because she's Asian, she got this. And it's like, no, she got
Yeah.
this because she's interesting and you're not.
Yeah.
Because she actually has something
Yeah.
to say and you don't.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
At the end
And
of the
it
day.
just like kind of like reaffirmed that, like, you know, like this white woman in this book, this fictional white woman in the book was making bringing up these points that like I've been insecure of my entire life of like being not being Asian enough and not being connected to my culture. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, you are what you are.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't change that.
Yeah. You fully
And
exist.
I just
You
am.
fully exist.
And it was so funny too because Jackie had got this new neighbor and he's kind of a jackass. He's French.
Oh, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. And she
Surprise
was
for me.
talking about being like a minority and she was talking about being Asian and this French asshole goes, "Well, 50%." She's
So,
still Asian. Like that doesn't detract from like
yeah.
how Asian she is. And like not to make it about this, a lot of white people do not clock that I am Asian because the first thing that people see is race. You know,
Yeah.
so they identify markers that make people different.
Yeah.
And they're not looking for, oh, well, she could be,
Mm-mm.
she could that, whatever. I've been mistaken for many things, and white has never been one of them. I have been mistaken for Mexican. I have
Many
been mistaken for
things.
Filipino. I have been mistaken for Native American, and none of them have been white.
One thing white people will do is mistake.
Right.
One thing they will do.
Right. Did you have anything on that?
On being Asian?
Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay, perfect. I mean, did you like I find yourself identifying with Connor at any point? Like
Well, I
kind of
think
being
that
like growing up
like
like in like a small town?
growing up in small town, rural, we've kind of talked about this and the like how like I viewed him coming on so strongly
Mm-hmm.
about like he really is in your face about this is what I am, this is what I'm doing, almost to
Mm-hmm.
the point where like sometimes it comes off as like a little
Mm-hmm.
like kind of you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it kind of has that feeling, but just like coming from a small town where you have interests that aren't like sports,
Mm-hmm.
you have like these passions that really like um are not seen as the norm. So you feel like a little out of place because you're like, what am I doing? I really like these things. So you kind of come about it like a little forcefully because you almost have to like defend your interests.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it's really like refreshing and really fun to see like a boy from Texas, from like rural America or like small town America being like so successful,
Mm-hmm.
so wildly in love with what he does, and is
Mm-hmm.
like also very like he's not like, oh, I'm not from Texas. Like he's not trying to like be like I don't come from where I come from,
Yeah.
but he's like, and I think that's what really makes him kind of like endearing too, is that they're both so honest about who they are and
Mm-hmm.
where they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Their
I,
passion
mhm,
literally oozes from them.
yeah, and it's so apparent, and like just being around a lot of people in the arts,
Right.
it is so such a drag
It's
to
so
because there
exhausting because
is
they're all
this
so
like
jaded.
they're so jaded and it's all very like, well, I've always been this way and I've always, you know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
such like this push to be like so, I don't know, fake with it is not the right words, but like
So lazily disinterested in what you're supposed to be passionate
disinterested.
about.
You are supposed to have passion. You're
Yeah.
supposed to have passion and you're supposed to go into it with intent.
Yeah.
And this like pull, especially like, and you see this in Hollywood a lot of
Hmm.
like trying to act like either you're the only person that could have done something like that
Yeah.
because you want to be the only person that could do that, versus like being honest with where you come from, how hard you've worked, and it's like
Hmm.
really refreshing,
Yeah.
when you look at it compared to like I don't want to throw Timothy under the
I was
bus.
literally just thinking about him, so go ahead and throw him under the
I
bus.
okay, Oop. But there is a difference between because I've seen people compare Timothy, what he does for press,
Hmm.
compared to like Hudson and Connor, because
Yeah.
people are saying, oh, well, Timothy's doing all this stuff and he's being called annoying versus like, you know what I mean? They're going out
Yeah.
there doing this. The difference is like, it is almost like he's putting on this complete separate show
Hmm.
in comparison to
Kyle in
okay,
editing. Kyle in
Kyle,
post.
please help me.
Pick up where you were
Yeah,
going from
please
there.
do.
This kind of nonchalant epidemic that we've been suffering through for
Hmm.
like the past decade and a half has been fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Like this nonchalant epidemic of like I don't really give a fuck what I'm doing because I'm cool and I'm gonna do it. Everybody thinks they're so fucking cool nowadays.
hmm,
If you think you're so fucking cool, go be cool somewhere else.
yeah,
And I think that what you're kind of trying to say is that Timothy Chalamet is putting on a show. My thing about it is that I know where Timothy Chalamet grew up. I know the high school that he went to. My sibling went to that high school. The people there are fucking weird, okay?
hmm.
Nicki Minaj went there. Jennifer Aniston went there. There's like a lot of like weird fucking people that came from that school. And, growing up in the city, you are enshrouded in art. So
Yeah,
it's hard to, see art as a spectacle when it's so intertwined with your
yeah,
life. It's hard for me to be like kind of amazed by anything or not jaded by something new and moving. Although I do really try to enjoy art to its fullest potential, sometimes
yeah.
I really can't because sometimes I'm like, that just wasn't very good. That just
That,
wasn't, and it's not even sometimes.
yeah,
A lot of the times I'm like, that just wasn't
mm,
very good. And so I think that Timothy Chalamet, he has got this like incredibly extroverted, very pungent kind of like personality. And I think I do too, honestly. I think it comes with growing up in the city is like you kind of have to be loud to be heard. You can't be
yeah,
quiet. You can't be nonchalant. He is very chalant. But he
yeah,
also has this cool guy persona that I think a lot of people who grew up in a wealthier, he didn't grow up in a wealthier area, but a more well-off area of Manhattan kind of have this hubris to them because they run the show.
Yeah.
White men and white women from Manhattan, they run the show. I've met a lot of people who come from Stuytown, who come from the Upper West Side or the Upper East Side, who kind of just like have had the world in their hands forever. And the difference I think between Timothy Chalamet and HUDCon is like they have lived lives outside of the arts. You know,
Yeah.
Connor's story has talked about being a gymnast, which I think is really, really cool, but his
Hmm.
parents were bodybuilders. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They were very intense bodybuilders. That's a very intense career to be in.
Yeah.
And Hudson has talked about being an MMA fighter. That's like not the farthest thing I want to say from acting because mixed martial arts, and that's a whole other thing that we can get into, is an art within itself. It is very
Hmm.
beautiful and graceful to watch when watched by professionals. Whole other thing. But he was not enshrouded in arts. I'm sure that in Vancouver, like BC, wherever he was not enshrouded in art from that jump. And so I think that they have this distinct appreciation for
And
what they
hunger.
do and
Hunger.
hunger because,
You have
you
to seek
know,
it out.
you have to seek
You
it
have
out.
to seek it
They
out.
have this incredible passion and drive and authenticity to them. And again, I'm not saying that Timothy Chalamet is
Yeah.
inauthentic. I think that he is authentic to the way that he is. That's just
Yeah.
who he is. And obviously, we're not going to see their true personalities because, being in a public eye, that is a performance within itself. Go ahead, you're going to
Hmm.
say something.
Well, I was just like trying to even like understand it myself, like the difference between why like Timothy Chalamet, the thing I appreciate about him and when he does this like press stuff is because like during his speech when he said that thing where he was like, I want to be great. I want to be
Yeah.
good at what I do. And he's
Hmm.
clearly very passionate about it.
Hmm.
Um, which I love. And then that like when it twists and then he's like, yeah, I made myself need glasses for this role. Or like it just like slips into like some stupid shit where you're like,
What the fuck are
I
you
see the
doing?
passion, but what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
And so it's like the difference between seeing like someone who is passionate and driven and
Hmm.
wants to be great
Hmm.
come at it from two different ways.
Right. And I
You
think
know
that
what I
the
mean?
press tour for Bob Dylan's, what was the movie called?
Um, the great unknown.
The Great Unknown.
Great
I think
unknown.
that he kind of had this switch at the beginning of last year after that press tour where he kind of just instead of saying I would like to be one of the greats was then stating that he was one of the greats
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
You can't say that.
Mm-mm.
Denzel Washington doesn't say that. Viola Davis doesn't say that.
Yeah.
Greats don't say that they're great.
No.
Their work speaks for it. And,
Yeah.
the public has to kind of deem you as a great because if you're just going around saying that I'm great all the time, I'm glad that you think
Yeah.
so. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do not think that Timothy Chalamet has reached that level yet.
Mm-mm.
I think that a lot
I
of
still need to see the
well-established,
hunger from him and
I-
the like the reach.
right.
And like to what you said, it is more of a him trying to prove it
Yeah.
versus him trying to actually improve and do the thing.
Hmm. Like kind of just like girl, shut up and dribble. Just like go do your job. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Well,
Timothy Chalamet has this like great. He's a great actor. We already know that, but he's not one of the greats.
mm-mm.
And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Well,
I really liked Dune. His performance in that didn't really move me.
mm-mm. I was not moved.
I was not moved,
I enjoyed the movie,
unfortunately.
but I wasn't
Yeah.
like, this is an incredible performance. I am moved. I am changed as a human
I'm not
from this
convinced that you
performance. Like,
are Paul Atreides. I'm sorry. I just like I imagine Paul Atreides to have a much more commanding presence, and I just don't think Timothy Chalamet has either
yeah,
it has that or will hone that. And that's
yeah.
fine, girl. I
Mm-hmm.
think that he's very
He,
charismatic. I think that the spotlight is very easily on him because of the way, like
he
his
yeah,
attitude
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and because of the way he speaks.
Mm-hmm.
but he's not very like he commands presence in a different way.
Yeah. Where like his performance in Call Me by Your Name
Hmm.
compared to like a role like Dune,
Yeah.
like
It's like
I
having Paul Mescal in Normal People and then Gladiator 2.
yeah. Yeah.
Flop,
Which
sorry,
yeah.
flop.
Is it what he's in or what he's bringing to what he's in or whatever it is, but it's just yeah. I enjoyed him so much more as an actor when he was in that kind of role. And he also like I felt like he when he would talk about his role, maybe it was just because he was younger and he was new
Hmm.
and stuff, but it just was like such a different way of speaking about like his role versus
Hmm.
to when it comes to like the ping pong stuff
Hmm.
or like the more gimmicky stuff. But
Yeah.
anyways, I feel like we're doing a lot of like Timothy
Yeah,
Chalamet
let's move
talk
away.
right now.
I also kind of wanted to touch upon the fact that, like, here's my pros. Is Canada, like, will Canada be the next, like, Hollywood? Will
I
Toronto
hope
be the
so.
next Hollywood? Because here's my thinking behind it. So, Hollywood has kind of been entrenched and enshrined in, like, capitalist greed
Yeah.
and execs who are not in touch with viewers. What I was kind of getting at before with Nepo babies, that they're so far removed from people that they cannot gauge whether or not people are going to like media that they put out
Hmm.
because they just don't know regular people. Like they don't know regular people, they just
Yeah.
know like them and Gene and them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And I think that, I love Canadian TV. Like, us,
Love
we
it.
love Canadian
We
TV.
love it.
Like, down. I
It's
love
so good.
international TV, but
Yeah.
especially Canadian TV. And I think that if, Canada kind of goes with the vibe of like casting nobodies and like kind of just throwing money at projects and
Hmm.
using tax dollars to kind of reinvest in the arts, like
That
that's not a waste of tax dollars.
no.
Like consuming arts is a
Mm-mm.
millennia old idea. Greek tragedies was something that people gathered around to watch because it was such an incredible form of catharsis for people to go and view. Obviously, it was just the men, but that's a whole other thing, whatever.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But we have had art for as long as we have had civilization.
Hmm.
We have
Yeah.
had expressions for as long as we've had civilization, for as long as we've had community and group. We've had these forms of expression. And I think that because the United States doesn't, like, what we invest our tax dollars in? The military. And you know what? The
Hmm.
military also puts money into these, like, propaganda ass films that are like making the US military seem like this great thing. That A24 film, what was that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which one?
There was one with like a bunch of like male celebrities and they like were in some sort, I think they were in Afghanistan or like
Oh,
Iran.
oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking
Because
about?
didn't they put like Kit Connor in there randomly?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
randomly. And they were like trying to make this like propaganda like military film. I'm like, I don't need to see that. That's my everyday
Mm.
life. Well, not
Mm.
in New York City, but like,
Yeah. No, no, no.
Americans
Yeah.
are experiencing like the
No.
National Guard. We don't need to
Mm.
see a military propaganda film.
No. And if anything, like this has just proved how much we don't need any of that.
Yeah,
The success of this has just proved we don't need that.
right.
And we need people other than America.
Like John Lennon, all
We
you
don't
need is
need,
love.
yeah. We, and it like, I credit so much to Jacob.
Oh my God, Jacob Tierney, the man that
Jacob,
you
which,
are.
I mean, talk about Nepo baby,
Talk about
but this,
Nepo baby.
talk about Nepo baby, but he is coming at it from not a Hollywood Nepo baby
Hmm.
and a Nepo baby who is not solely working with Nepo babies.
Hmm. Yeah.
Pulling Honor, pulling Hudson,
Mm-hmm.
doing just like his time with Letterkenny,
Mm-mm.
so fucking important to the success of Heated Rivalry.
Truly.
So important because the years spent low budget, low time,
Mm-hmm.
just working with
Six
um,
episodes.
6 episodes, people who are just like creatives
Mm-hmm.
outside of Hollywood,
Yeah.
bringing that in and having that practice of years and years and years and years
Like
and
literally
doing
working
it
in
well.
Sudbury, Ontario. Like literally they were filming in Sudbury the entire time for Letterkenny. Like being in that like that whole, that world, that's so much more charming. Not charming because I don't want to like babyify it. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
I don't want to like make it seem like this, oh, this little town. No, like
mhm.
there is something truly so grounding about being in a smaller town and being like in real town, well, not America, but real town
Yeah,
Canada,
yeah, yeah.
that like you get a grasp
Mhm.
on people.
We want to hear different stories. We
Yeah.
want new things. We
Yeah.
want to hear things about other people and take it into account and think about it and analyze it and learn more.
Like I'm
Like
sick about
that's
like to circle back to materialists. Like I don't care about Pedro Pascal's character. Great, he's a financier and she's got this nice job and this like nice apartment and she can Uber places and he's got cars waiting
and he's
and
wrecked emotionally because he got tall through surgery.
by the way, I did do like a little like my own little kind of what do you call it? Like a little experiment. No, not even an experiment. I just asked men questions.
Okay.
Would you ever like do something drastic? I asked like one of my friend's boyfriends who's relatively shorter.
Mhm.
I said, "Would you ever get surgery to get taller?" He immediately went, "No." But it's because he literally like he got that swag. He's like a swaggy little white boy and like
He's
he
he's
like pulled a
comfortable and
Maddie.
he's existing as he is.
Uh-huh. And I spoke to somebody that was 6'4" and larger, and he was like, if I did that, my family would fucking clown the shit out of me.
No.
Would
Okay.
literally make fun of me until like I died.
Yeah. No, I'm just obsessed with the fact that you were like, "Hey, you short guy, would you
Yeah.
ever
I was literally at a party and I was like, Aiden, would you ever do this? He went,
tell me,
no.
tell me something?"
I'm sorry, boots on the ground, like
Yeah.
journalism right here. Like
Yeah.
I
You're
one thing
doing the
I'm not
work.
afraid of is asking a question. Like I'm not gonna not ask a question. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Well, it just like, okay, going back to Jacob
Hmm.
and like why I give him so much credit
Hmm.
for like bringing in the cast, having the experience to do something so well with the budget and time he has,
Hmm.
and also for putting like trust in and believing in women who write romance.
Hmm.
Women who write romance. You don't like, especially when it's kind of like smutty,
Yeah.
kind of like a little spicy. We don't see someone do this and then back it
Yeah.
so hard and
Yeah.
like stand so hard for like the woman who created the story.
Hmm.
And he is making changes that I really like and that I think was the right move. But
Hmm.
he's also not being like, yeah, like I took this woman's idea and then like made it better. Does that make
He kind of
sense?
did.
He, but it's with like small changes. He's
Yeah.
not like
He's
discrediting.
not, and he said that in an interview. I'm not sure if it was the Spare Parts podcast or I think it might have been. It was one of the interviews that he has been
Mhm.
many interviews that he's been doing. But he was like, I don't get why so many directors these days think that they have to put their own spin on stories. Just make the fucking show, make the fucking
Yeah.
movie. Oh, if you want to get me started, Wuthering Heights. I'm not watching that shit. I'm not watching that shit. Oh my God, it is making me so angry just thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have to take a deep breath.
What
There
was
is
it?
no need to take a piece of literature that people already have established that they like and that they enjoy, and putting your own fucking moronic twist on it. Just translate it
What was
as
it?
best as you can. People want to watch it on the screen in a different medium,
Yeah,
in so that people who also did not read the book can enjoy that piece of media.
yeah,
You're not creative. Like, let's all be creative. No, be creative with lighting, with
yeah,
sound, with angles,
yeah.
with cameras. Be creative with that.
In
Don't be
your art, be
creative with the
creative in your art.
storyline. Do you
Yeah.
think you're better? Do you think you are better than
Do you think
Charlotte
you're
Bronte?
better?
Do you
Yeah.
think that you're better than that? You're not.
Okay, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bring up Kristen Stewart.
Do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it.
It goes back to her, like when she was talking about people feeling submissive
Mm-hmm.
while being the mouthpiece to someone else's story to the
Mm-hmm.
point where they feel like they have to change it or put their own spin on it to dominate over it because they see it as vulnerability
Mm-hmm.
and being submissive to someone else's words and someone else's story,
Mm-hmm.
which going back to like heated rivalry and its
Mm-hmm.
adaptation, it is not trying to dominate
No.
the story like at all. Like
It's
they
trying to elevate,
elevate.
if anything.
Yeah. And they're very comfortable with being mouthpieces to a
Mm-hmm.
story.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you are as an actor. Yeah.
But just quickly, I just want to say, um, they understand their characters so well,
Hmm.
and they're such incredible mouthpieces, what you said,
Hmm.
to their characters because they took the time to read the book. They took the time to understand the story, to
Hmm.
talk to the author, to talk to the screenwriter, to really understand these characters so that they could translate them the best they could to the
Yeah.
page. And
Yeah.
we could get into it in a different podcast, but you know, as much as Connor transformed himself, Hudson did too. Hudson is a completely different person than Shane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
And they did it with intention to be true to the character
hmm
and intention to be that mouthpiece and
hmm
not with intention to dominate it,
hmm
which I think is like a big difference between the way they have been approaching things and the way they approach talking about how they approach it
Yeah.
compared to what we've been seeing recently.
Absolutely. This need to like overwhelm and supersede what is written on the page. You are not more important than the story.
Yeah.
You're not.
You're there to
Sorry.
tell the story.
I, I- and you know what? This is why I don't want to go back to school. I was thinking about it today. This is one of the reasons I don't want to go back to school because like I cannot stand theater majors. I can't stand them. That's why I'm sick all the time because these people just think that they're just so fucking important.
Hmm.
You're not. You're not. You're not more
Yeah.
important than the janitor. The
Yeah.
janitor's got a pretty important job, and
Yeah.
you're not more important than them.
Hmm.
Anyways, to just really quickly wrap up, yeah, Heated Rivalry is amazing. Connor and Hudson so far in this like 2 month whirlwind,
Incredible.
are just like incredible, incredible actors, and I'm really excited to see where they go. And they seem to be very grounded, and they seem to have like a really great grasp on who they are
Yeah.
before the characters,
Yeah.
before the character that they play of Hudson and Connor
Hmm.
outside
Yeah.
in the media. They
No.
know they are very secure in that.
Yeah. And I'm always excited to hear what they have to say.
And it's
And
very
that's what it comes
special.
down to.
And I think that this is a very special time, like to be a
Hmm.
fangirl. I was talking with Grace before. It's a very great time to be a fangirl,
It's a fantastic time to be a fangirl.
truly. But don't
We're
be
on
weird and
top.
parasocial.
Yeah. Don't bring the Snoopies.
Mm,
Don't bring the
don't
Snoopies.
bring the Snoopies and don't like think that you are their friend. They don't
Yeah.
know you. They don't know you.
Mm-mm. No. Let's be normal.
But yeah. Thank you for whoever watched this and really sat through this whole thing. It is so appreciated.
Yay!
And I have a lot of things to say, so more from me soon and more hopefully from us soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be talking. We'll be coming back.
Yappa, yappa, yappa.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.